Hey, what's going on, sports fans? How you guys doing? Hopefully, you're having a great day. And I just want to take a few moments of your time and talk about the NBA. We're past the new year, so I feel like it's a good opportunity to kind of take a look at where teams stand and, like the title says, do a little bit of a power ranking. Now, of course, I had to bring up the whole tier list maker that you see to the side of me here. Once again, have a lot of fun doing these. Gives you guys a visual, I guess, into my mind, into my way of thinking. So I feel like hopefully it's easier for you to, I guess, follow along with me now that you get to see it as I'm doing it. Of course, let me know if you like these episodes with the split screen, whether it's tier list or playoff machine, stuff like that, because those will continue. And also let you know that I am planning on doing another live stream. Probably, well, definitely another live play by play live stream this weekend. Of course, that's depending on the NFL schedule because as of right now the games will be played, but we all know with Damar Hamlin's situation that could definitely change at any moment. So if they do play the games, I'll try to live stream one, maybe two, and then definitely make the live streams more. I guess currently I'm thinking like weekly, but I may do more each week, maybe a couple a week. We'll see. But I do have a lot of fun with them. So be sure to be on the lookout, you know, on the YouTube channel, or if you follow me over on Twitch, make sure to look out over there as well, for an alert or notification. And then make sure you jump on, get in the comments with me because the last one I did, went really well. Went back and forth with a couple people in the comments. So definitely a good time over there. So make sure you, uh, definitely keep up with that. But like I said, let's go ahead and get into these power rankings. And obviously, at the end of the episode, let me know if you agree with me. If I maybe placed the team in the wrong spot, I'll definitely do that. But here we go. So the Lakers, I put them here. We've seen them play better the past couple of weeks. Well, not well, past couple of days at least. And I think there's some optimism, or people are kind of wondering, can they keep this play going? Right now, they are outside the top 10. So I have them on the rise because is it possible that they can, get up close to playing level, and then once AD comes back, maybe they move comfortably into the playing spot, or maybe even a top 16. Yeah, I think so. I mean, you'd have to think with a group with, LeBron, AD comes back, Westbrook. If those three are playing well, then there should be no issues with them. At least making the play in, and even then, you'd have to say it's kind of a disappointment for those three being together. But based off of right now, I would say on the rise. The Rockets, I mean, let's be real about it. They have some good young talent for sure. They're definitely playing towards. They're playing the long game here towards the future. Maybe not necessarily next year, maybe a couple of years. They could hope that Porter Jr., Kevin Porter Jr., Julian Green, guys like that continue to develop together. Plus, with this season, looks like they're going to have a high draft pick, depending on what they do with that. They select another good young piece, or maybe use it and a young piece to get a star there. I think Houston could have something in the future, but for right now, I mean, let's be real about it. Nuggets, I'm gonna put them in the title picture. I feel like the way Jokic is playing right now, Jamal Murray, he stays healthy. We know that he's a guy who can get buckets. Porter Jr., who I've said several times on here, I think is probably the most important player on that team because if he's healthy, he gives them a bona fide third option. But if not, then you're asking guys like Aaron Gordon, Bones Highland, I think guys like that to do more than they necessarily are capable of right now. So for right now, I mean, they're winning the West right now. Before the season, I have pretty sure I predicted that Denver would win the West, and I'll stick by that. I still agree with that. So I have to put them in the title picture. Clippers, I think, are title worthy. I'll put them playoff team on the rise. So this category is like these are teams I see in the playoffs, and then based off of certain things, I could see them continuing to progress like higher up the standings and potentially end up in the title picture. And I think the Clippers are right there. I think currently you'd probably say they might be just outside of it because of health issues and all that throughout the course of this season so far, and even going forward. Because you probably have to understand that Kawhi will probably miss games over the remaining stretch of the season. Paul George has been healthy. John Wall, we'll have to see with him. Can he make it through the whole season? But if those three are healthy, I think the Clippers by the end of the season will probably end up in here, but I would put them on the rise right now. Golden State, I guess I'll put them here because they had a disappointing start to the season. Steph Curry's been out right now, has been out, and is currently out right now. But, we saw them beat the Hawks the other night with a 40 something point performance from Klay Thompson. So with Curry out, Thompson, Jordan Poole, those two are gonna have to step up. But I think with Golden State, it's a team where they just want to make it to the postseason, and then from there, they know that they have a veteran group that's been here, done that, and you can't doubt their championship pedigree. It's just that currently, right now, I'd put them on the rise because they're in ninth right now, and I definitely expect them to move up from there. But end of the season, they'll be right here. Mavericks are an interesting team. I'll put them on the rise. I don't know. I feel like their arrow isn't pointing as sharply towards the up direction as the Clippers, but I think with Dallas, Luka's been playing really well, and if they can get consistent contributions from Dinwiddie and Hardaway Jr., then I think the Mavericks are a really good team because those two guys, though they are streaky, they could drop 30 on a night. A night when Luka can't get you 40, 45. So maybe those nights Luka gets you 30, and you can get 25 from one of those guys and maybe 20 from the other. If they can do that, then I feel like that makes Dallas a more dangerous team. Whereas right now, most teams are just game planning for Luka, taking their chances with the other guys unless they're having a really hot shooting night. Then you kind of adjust in game. But I definitely think, Dallas is a team on the rise. And who knows come trade deadline if they make the right move, maybe they jump up into the title picture this year. Cleveland, same thing. I think they're a team on the rise. We saw Donovan Mitchell score 71 points the other night, which, I keep saying that he's the perfect piece for that group that's really defensive minded with, Allen and Mobley. They have Darius Garland and all that. But Mitchell gives them an element where late in the game, they need a guy who can create for themselves, get a basket. Donovan Mitchell can do that. And because of that, with the other pieces that they have there, I think they are a team on the rise. Once again, we'll have to see around the trade deadline if they do anything. Do they stay pat? Then towards the end of the season, might have to make a serious consideration of putting them up here because I think they have the elements to be a title worthy team this year. I just don't know right now if they're there, but they're definitely on the rise. The Bulls, let's be real about it. Um, I mean, I keep saying with the Bulls that I feel like there needs to be some type of change made to the roster. Lonzo Ball still isn't healthy. DeRozan has been good. Levine's been too up and down for me. You got Vucevic, you got Drummond. I feel like this Bulls team should be much better than they are with the names that are on the roster. but it just seems like it just doesn't fit well together. Maybe coaching's part of the issue as well. But I feel like the Bulls need to have a serious conversation, serious look in the mirror, and make some moves. Hornets, let's be real about it. A couple of years ago, they were kind of like everybody's darling pick to make a move in the East. Just hasn't happened. I feel like they have a lot of pieces that are kind of similar. So they could probably use some consolidation on that team, move a couple of guys out, bring in somebody that definitely would benefit them. But as they're currently constituted, I don't see them doing anything. They're what, second worst in the East right now. Like I said, just a couple of years ago, people were talking about them being a team of the future. Well, clearly that future is not looking that bright anymore. But yeah, I feel like they're a team that should be active during the trade deadline, like selling, sign on the front lawn, garage sale, make everything available. Memphis on the rise. I don't know. I would put them in the title picture yet. I feel like they're just outside of that. They're. I feel like with them, they just need more seasoning in terms of getting into those playoff battles where you kind of get tested and realize who you are. They have done a lot of talking recently. I know it's rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. I do think it comes across as a team that feels like they've accomplished more than they truly have. But I think that's something I mean, you could see that happening with a young group. So, we'll see. Does that mentality end up hurting them in the end if they don't reach the level that they expect, or does it become a motivation factor for them and they step their game up another level? It's just that right now, I, I don't know. I just can't trust them enough to put them in the title picture. They need to show me more. That's basically what I'm getting at. The Pacers are a playoff team on the rise. I think, once again, I don't know how much more they'll really move from where they are. Can they finish as a top six team? Sure. And I think for them as well, I have them on the rise because I think they're playing well. They've won what, 4 or 5 in a row right now. But I still think that they're a team that a lot of people are going to be looking at around the trade deadline to see where they are, because let's say they're in the playing group. Do they sell off Miles Turner? Do they sell off Buddy Hield? Or do they take a stab at buying and get a piece in there to see if that elevates them from a fringe top 16 to now a comfortable top 5, top 4 team? But even if it doesn't work out this year, I think with Halliburton and guys like that, like I said, if they don't sell off Hield and Turner, they could be a team to watch the next couple of years. Now, I don't know if they'd really ever elevate enough to get into the title picture, but I could see them being a comfortable playoff team for the next couple of years. Detroit, let's be honest. Well, let's be real with this one. They, once again, are in the running for the worst record in the league. They, shut down Cade Cunningham already, which I mean, I've said seems like a move to kind of broadcast tanking, but it is what it is. You do have to wonder if they did get the number 1 pick, got Wembanyama, what would that necessarily do? How much of a change would that make with Detroit, with this current group, if you just added in Victor? How much of an improvement would that make? And I think there's legit questions about that. But yeah, keep it real with them. All right, I think the Hawks will be the first time I put playoff teams on decline. I feel like the aspirations for this Hawks group were way too high to begin with. I feel like they've been overrated for a couple of years now. I think some talent on that team is a bit overrated. I would not be mad if they made some moves, if they kind of got real with themselves and realized that, the Eastern Conference Finals run from a couple of years ago didn't mean they were on the cusp of being a title team. And unfortunately, I think that's the way they think. All that run was being in the right place at the right time. The teams that they played had certain issues that allowed them to move on, but they were never at that level. What they are to me, sixth in the East at best, playing team probably regularly. And because of that, I feel like there's a misconception that Atlanta will be fine because of certain things here or there. They'll be fine. But no, this seems like issues with coaching yet again because of whatever. Trae Young, issues there. Shooting percentages that are down, still gives you nothing defensively. When he's not on the ball, he's a terrible offensive player. And because the team revolves around him too much, that's why I think they're on the decline. So they need to have a look in the mirror and realize they do better off Murray continue to be on the ball, and somebody needs to get to Trae Young and teach him how to play off the ball better. There we go. I mean, that's about all I can say about the Hawks. But there's a lot of issues in Atlanta that go well beyond Nick McMillan or John Collins, which is what a lot of people put a lot of the blame on. Celtics title picture, I mean, still have the best record in the league. They, yeah, they still have the best record in the league. They are working Robert Williams back into the fold. They're another team that, we can't, we probably can't necessarily really grade them until the playoffs because they made the finals last year. So obviously, coming into this year, their aspiration is to get back to the finals and then win it because that's the only step. That's the legitimate next step for them. The Brogdon move has worked out well for them so far, and I think what else to be said? Celtics. Yes, they've had a bit of a rough patch, but it's a long season, so I'm not really worried about that. So Brooklyn's an interesting case. I could put them here because of their recent play, but I so based off the recent play, I feel like they're here because um, they they're playing well right now. They won like 12, 13 in a row, and the team looks like they are playing at the level that a lot of people thought when Durant and Kyrie got together. So you could put them here, but I'll put them playoff team on the rise. Yeah, I had to think about that for a second because with Brooklyn, they're a team that I honestly don't care where they finish in the regular season. They could finish first in these, to be honest with you, and I'd probably still have them here because based on how the playoffs went last year, that's where I need to see what this team's really made of. And yes, they look like they're really good now because they won 12 in a row. So what happens with this group if they lose? Um, I don't know, 3, 4 in a row. Do we get infighting again? Well, not necessarily infighting again, but I'm just saying, like, do we start hearing rumblings about issues? Does the play on the court start to look different? Maybe players get more selfish or something like that. I don't know. I just want to see more from Brooklyn, especially come playoff time. What they actually look like and if they've actually changed in any way. The Knicks are, I'm a slight decline for the Knicks, and I guess that kind of would be based off of what your expectations were. If you're expecting the Knicks to be top six, then yeah, I don't see them as one of the six best teams in the East. If if we could be real about them, I feel like they're probably a 7-8 seed as they're currently constituted. So putting them on decline, it's like a very, very slight decline. I think they're kind of in the area that they probably should be. 7-8. They're a playing team, and I feel like if they get into the play-in, they should be, one of the favorites to get out of the play-in and be one of the top 8 in the playoffs. So, yeah, Brunson's been good. Barrett up and down. Randall. I've said several times on here when talking basketball, not the biggest fan of Julius Randall, especially if he's supposed to be the number one guy, and I really don't like him. I feel like Randall should be your 2 or 3 if you're really looking to be a championship team. So if the Knicks were to keep Randall, I would like to see them get somebody, probably get a star that's better than Julius Randall. And then from then, if they were to do that, see what it looks like, maybe they would move up. But I feel like they're kind of properly placed in the East right now where they should be. New Orleans is another playoff team on the rise. Just to say, these aren't like necessarily in any order. It's not like the Pelicans are the worst of this group or anything like that. Just want to say that I'm just putting them as I get to them. So the Pelicans, why they're on the rise is because they are what, third in the West. The 3 weeks without Zion is going to be interesting. Let's see what this team looks like in, you know, a month from now. Will they have weathered the storm without Zion? Will they improve their position without Zion? And then Zion comes back, elevate themselves even more? Will they fall off? So these next few weeks will be interesting to see with New Orleans, but the talent is there definitely when everybody's on the court for sure. Willie Green's done a great job with that group. I really like what they have going on. Brandon Ingram, Zion, Alvarado is that pesky perimeter defender. Yeah, a lot of talent there. They might be a team that could be better off next year. But yeah, Zion is definitely the key piece there. Minnesota declined for sure. Was never a fan of the Gobert trade. Now with Cat missing a lot of time, I'm honestly worried about them. I think they'll probably end up as a playing team. I feel like there's probably too much talent for them to completely miss everything. It's just that it, I don't know. I guess I understand why they made the Gobert trade. To help out Cat defensively. It's just that offensively, I don't know how much of a fit he is. So yeah, I think there's some serious questions there, and they may be a team to look out for. I believe there's a story about D'Angelo Russell on following the team. Maybe that's a guy who ends up getting moved. I don't know. Minnesota's gonna be a team to watch as well around the trade deadline. Bucks, come on. You got Giannis, you're in the title picture. Enough said. But honestly, Drew Holiday, Middleton, get him healthy, sustain a few weeks with him on the court. Brook Lopez, they have a well built roster, and like I said, you got Giannis here in the title picture for me. So nothing more really needs to be said there. I'm gonna put Miami on the rise because this is kind of who Miami is. It's one of the frustrating things about them. You know, start the season they were outside the playing picture, looked weird. They slowly moved into the playing picture. Now, if you haven't been paying attention to them, they're seventh in the East. They are like a game and a half out of sixth, and it seems like they're starting to elevate their game. It's obvious. So Spolstra, Butler, um, Hero, and those guys. by the end of the season, they'll probably find a way into the top six because that's just what they do. So yeah, they're on the rise for sure right now. The Kings, see the Kings, I don't know where to place them. I'll put them here because I want to show optimism for the Kings because I like what they're doing. I'm happy to see that they're still in the top six in the West. They haven't fallen off. They you know play exciting brand of basketball. They play a lot of up tempo. The Sabonis Halliburton trade has worked out for both teams, even though at the time didn't believe that. De'Aaron Fox has looked good. Like I said, Sabonis. I just love watching Sabonis play. He's like a guaranteed 2010 type of guy, sometimes 2015. I mean, he'll shock you and give you a 2020 game every once in a while, but Sabonis has been a really good match in Sacramento, and I feel like that fan base could really use a playoff appearance. Uh, they were, but the '90s they were up there at the top, just never got over the hump. And they had a lot of low years, but it seems like they could be progressing to something better right now. Who's the coach? Is it Mike Brown? I mean, you gotta give him props for what he's done in Sacramento. Portland is another interesting team. I'm gonna put them on a slight decline. I think they'll end up as a play-in team. I I mean, I know a lot of people love Damian Lillard. He's definitely one of the stars of the league. It's just that with the West, I think they're in a weird position where, yes, they're not as bad as some of these teams below them, but I don't know if they're ever going to be really good enough to one, get into the title picture, or to be like a real top four, top five type of team in the West. Type of team in the West. So I feel like their arrow points slightly down only because I think they just kind of stay in the playing area, whether it's 7, 8, 9, or 10. That's honestly where I think they are as a group right now. Could that get better? Sure, but currently that's kind of where I see them. Phoenix, yeah, you already know how I feel about them. Their championship window was open and shut basically the season they made it there, and then the minute they lost to the Bucks, that door closed. Booker being out definitely isn't going to help this group. They have Jay Crowder who doesn't want to play for them. They haven't moved him yet. DeAndre Ayton was gone, then brought back. A lot of questions there. Chris Paul's getting older. Monty Williams has done a good job, but yeah, the product it just isn't that good, and I feel like it's just gonna get worse. I mean, they went from what a couple of weeks ago being towards the top of the West. Now they're a playing team, and to be honest with you, I think that's kind of what they are at this point. So I got them on the decline. Philly, I'm gonna put them on the rise, and a lot of that's gonna be based off of how well Embiid and Harden play together. Maxi, I believe, is back now, yes, but um, it's gonna take him, a few games, of course, to get back to his normal self. But I wonder, playoff time, do we get too much of Harden ISO bogged down offense, which will ultimately be their demise? Do we get too much of Harden and Embiid just playing ISO ball and kind of freezing out everybody? Or do they kind of turn to Maxi more? Make him a more important piece. See where that takes them. Because if they go Harden and Embiid centric, then they have a certain ceiling. If they really, really use Maxi, then I think the ceiling's a little bit higher. I still don't know if this Philly group will ever be necessarily title contenders, but they'll definitely always be around that area. At least picture, the title picture, as long as they have Embiid, Harden, and like I said, if they increase Maxi's importance, then yeah, that's I think the best way for them to go. Magic, let's be real, there towards the bottom again. They have a lot of young pieces, but I think they're another one of those teams that, like the Hornets, might have to consolidate some of them to actually get better. If they just keep piling on young piece after young piece, I really don't see how much better they really get, to be honest with you. Because then it's going to turn into young guys not getting enough minutes to develop, and then you're kind of just wasting them when you could move them for some value. So I got Orlando. Yeah, let's be real. The Thunder, interesting. Put them here because with Shea Gilgeous-Alexander having a really great year, I feel like that's a good stepping stone for them. Now, if Chet Holmgren was playing, I would like to see what that would look like this year. But I feel like the more I see them play, I could see them, to be honest with you, as a playing team, which I think would be, I guess you have to consider that a successful season, to be honest with you. And my only hesitation is, do I need to leave them here? But I feel like out of this group that's down here, I feel like Oklahoma is better than that group and in a better position than a lot of these teams. So I'm gonna put them on the rise, like I said. Now, could they miss the play-in? Yeah, of course they could. But I feel like they find a way to get in. And do they win or make it out of the play-in tournament? I can't guarantee that. Could they? Definitely. It'll depend on who else is in there, of course. But Oklahoma is one of those young teams that have accumulated talent that I think might be a little bit ahead of the curve in terms of where they are in their development and in their rebuild process. I think Oklahoma City is in a better position. And plus, with Sam Presti, you never know. He could pull a trade any minute. Once again, I believe that's the guy in Oklahoma City. If I'm wrong, apologies. But yeah, I just think the Thunder are on the rise a bit more than these guys down here. Spurs, let's be real, I mean, they're still evaluating talent that they have, acquiring talent. They're nowhere near ready to, really compete for anything. They have the second worst record in the West. So, yeah, be real. I mean, Utah. I'll put Utah here. Let's be real. When they had that great start to the season, a lot of people were, you know, uh, looking at them and like, oh, could they surprise some people? Yes, it was a great start. It was fun. It was a fun ride, Utah. But let's be real. By the end of the year, I fully expect Utah to be towards the top of the lottery, have a top pick because that's what all the moves were made for. That's what Danny Ainge was brought there for. Accumulate talent and then make a big splash. So, got to be real with ourselves here with Utah. Yes, they're 10th in the West right now. I fully expect them to drop out over the next month or so. So we got two teams left. The Raptors and the Wizards. What do I do with the Raptors? Raptors are interesting. I'll put them here. I think the Raptors are in a position where, yeah, the whole 6'9" to 6'6" squad plus Fred VanVleet, who's just it's like 6'1" or something. I feel like the experiment was cool. It was cute, but they need to make a move. I mean, whether it's Siakam, or you keep Siakam and maybe you move Trent Jr. and Anunoby. Yeah, I just don't think they're good enough. They're scrappy, yes, but talented, not really. So I think we got to be real with them. They probably miss the play-in. If they fight hard enough, maybe they're the 10 seed. But is there any real optimism that they could do anything? No. So let's be real with them. Washington. Let's put them here for the questionable part. Do you believe that they're a playing team? And if you do, don't you think they should be better than that? Bradley Beal, Porzingis. I mean that's probably it in terms of name recognition. But they have like Kispert, some other guys like that. I feel like mainly with Beal and Porzingis, that duo for the talent that Beal is. I mean, Porzingis is called the unicorn or whatever. Shouldn't Washington be better than 10th? Now, maybe they're a team that would benefit from a trade deadline deal to then move up a little bit. I still don't think they're ever going to be top six worthy, but they got to be better than 10th, don't they? I mean, looking at the teams around them, could they be better than Atlanta? They probably should be. Should they be better than the Knicks? I think that's arguable. But then I kind of think that's their limit. Maybe eighth. Win playing tournament. Maybe you move up to seventh. So I put them on the rise, but it's very tentative because part of me wants to put them like, let's be real, because they need to move some stuff. But for right now, I'll put them on the rise because I think as they're currently constituted, they should be better. And I wouldn't be surprised if they ran off for 2-3 weeks playing really great, and then I turned around and looked and they were seventh in the East. So there you have it. That's how the team's ranked right now. As I said earlier in the episode, let me know what you think. Did I treat your team right? Or not necessarily your team, but any other team on this list? Am I guess, thoroughly hating on a team? Pretty sure, once again, pretty sure that I probably will get a strong reaction for maybe this team, the Lakers, maybe the Warriors, Suns, maybe the Hawks. Um, Also up here, I'm in the title picture. Maybe you guys think that this is too small of a class. Definitely let me know down in the comment section. But um, yeah, so as I said, live streams are coming soon. Um, like I said, probably one this weekend. I honestly don't know what game yet. I want to do Patriots Bills game. We got to see if the games are even played, plus some other things. So be on the lookout for that. I'll definitely, post something on the YouTube channel or something like that when I do decide what game I'm going to do. And if you're following me on Twitch, so Twitch is at Kizzy Gamer 84, KIZZY Gamer 84. I just realized I don't have it on the little ticker at the bottom. I'll add it there, so for the next video going forward, it'll be part of that. But go over there, subscribe to my channel, and like I said, live streams will be there as well as the YouTube channel. So if you're on YouTube, live streams will be there as well. But I mean, if you prefer Twitch, head over there and subscribe as well. But thanks again, guys. Thanks again, sports fans, for tuning in, my NBA people. And be safe out there. God bless. I'll catch you next episode. And as always, speedy recovery, Damar Hamlin. But yeah, I'll catch you guys later.